In 2004, I bought a Silverado 1500 off a lot outside Canton, Ohio. A 5.3 Vortec with cloth seats and a bench up front. The guys at my shop started a betting pool on when it would die, and the most generous guess was 250,000 miles. Last Tuesday, that truck rolled 704,000, and every man who bet against it has paid up. However, the engine has never been opened, and that has almost nothing to do with luck. It comes down to 12 habits, and I'm going to give you every single one of them. I've spent 22 years wrenching on GM trucks, and Silverados have paid my mortgage the entire time. I've pulled valve covers off 5.3s that were sludge solid at 130,000 miles, and I've serviced fleet trucks with that same engine at 380,000, still showing crosshatch on the cylinder walls. The difference was never the assembly line, it was the person holding the keys. So this is everything I do to my own truck, in the order I'd want a friend to hear it, with real prices off my own invoices. Habit number 1. Change the oil every 5,000 miles, and treat the oil life monitor as a polite suggestion. The GM Oil Life Monitor never actually samples your oil. It's an algorithm counting engine revolutions and temperature cycles, and on an easy highway commute, it will happily let you stretch 9 or 10,000 miles between changes. That might be fine on a lease. It's a terrible plan for a truck you intend to keep, because on any 5.3 built since 2007, oil is more than lubrication. It's the hydraulic fluid that operates the cylinder deactivation lifters, and those lifters are the most common thing that kills these engines. Those lifters live or die on oil pressure and oil cleanliness. And the difference between a 5,000-mile interval and a 10,000-mile interval is the difference between clean hydraulic fluid and sandpaper soup. I had a customer with a 2014 Sierra who only changed oil when the light told him to, and that truck had a lifter tick at 92,000 miles. His repair quote came in at $3,800. $50 of oil and filter, twice as often as the monitor demands, would have covered him for a decade. Mine gets full synthetic in the Dexo's approved weight on the oil cap, every 5,000, no exceptions, and I spend the extra few bucks on a quality filter instead of the bargain bin because a collapsing filter bypasses dirty oil straight to those lifters. After roughly 140 oil changes, the receipts fill a shoebox, cheapest insurance I've ever bought. But clean oil can't help an engine that never gets hot enough to use it properly. Habit number 2. Stop strangling the truck with 5-minute trips. Every cold engine produces water as it runs, and if you only drive 2 miles at a time, that water never boils out of the crankcase. It mixes with fuel and combustion acids into a gray paste you'll find under the oil cap, and I see it constantly on trucks that only haul groceries. Pull the dipstick on a short trip truck in January, and you'll sometimes see milky streaks right on the stick. That same moisture condenses in the exhaust too, which is why the short trip trucks in my shop rot out mufflers years before the highway trucks do. The engine needs to reach full operating temperature and hold it there, ideally several times a week. And no, idling in the driveway doesn't count, because idling is the slowest possible way to warm a Vortec. Start it, give it 30 seconds, then drive gently until the temperature needle comes off the peg. Save the heavy throttle until it's fully warm. Combine 4 errands into 1 loop instead of 4 cold starts. Condensation is a slow killer, and beating it costs you nothing but a little planning. Heat, on the other hand, kills fast. Which brings me to the system almost everybody ignores. Habit number 3. Baby the cooling system, because a 5.3 forgives 1 overheat at most, and sometimes not even that. This engine is an iron block wearing aluminum heads, and aluminum moves when it gets cooked. 1 good overheat can warp a head, wipe out a gasket, and turn a healthy truck into a $4,000 estimate. So I never let DexCool sit past 5 years, no matter what the 150,000-mile rating on the jug claims, because old coolant with air in the system turns acidic and eats the very gaskets it's supposed to protect. Anybody who wrenched on GM stuff in the early 2000s remembers pulling radiators full of orange mud from trucks that ran low and sucked air, and I have no interest in reliving that. I replace the radiator cap every few years since it costs $15, and it's the part that keeps air out in the first place. I check the water pump weep hole every oil change, because these pumps announce their retirement with a pink crust weeks before they actually let go. I put a fresh thermostat in every time the coolant gets changed, which is a $20 part, and I test the fan clutch every summer, since a lazy clutch fan is why so many of these trucks only overheat with a trailer on a grade. And if that gauge ever creeps past 230, I pull over and shut it down, even if I'm late. A coolant flush runs me under $200. Head work starts at 10 times that. That habit protects the engine. The next one saved my transmission, twice. Habit number 4. Service the transmission fluid no matter what anybody told you about it being filled for life. Lifetime fluid is a fiction invented to make cost of ownership brochures look better, and I'll take that argument with any service writer in the country. My truck left the factory with a 4L60E, which nobody has ever called a strong transmission, and the internet swears they all die by 150,000. Mine went 328,000 miles before its first rebuild, and the difference was a pan drop and fresh filter every 50,000, which costs about $200 a visit. When fluid comes out brown and smelling like burnt toast, the damage already happened months ago. You want it coming out red every single time. The same logic carries straight over to the 6L80 and the newer boxes. And it matters even more there because those transmissions run hotter by design and their valve bodies are far less forgiving of varnish. On the trucks with no dipstick, and GM deleted the dipstick on most of the newer ones, owners assume no dipstick means no service, which is exactly backwards. It just means the service goes to a shop with a lift. $200 on a schedule, or $3,500 for a rebuild on a tow truck schedule. You get to pick, but you only get to pick early. And if you ever put a trailer behind your truck, fluid alone isn't enough. You need information. Habit number 5. Know your transmission temperature before you hook up anything heavy. Every modern Silverado will show trans temp right in the driver information center, and almost nobody ever scrolls to it. Here's why you should. On the 6-speed and 8-speed trucks, GM fitted a thermal bypass valve that deliberately keeps the fluid up near 190 degrees for fuel economy, so you're starting warm before the trailer ever moves. Drag a camper up a grade in July, and I've watched trucks push past 240, and transmission fluid that lives up there ages several times faster than fluid kept cool. The old rule of thumb in transmission shops is that fluid life roughly halves for every 20 degrees you run above normal, and whether the exact math holds or not, every cooked transmission I've ever torn down backs up the idea. So use tow/haul mode because it changes shift points, holds gears longer, and keeps the torque converter locked instead of slipping and making heat. Watch that readout on long grades. And if you tow often, spend around $150 on an aftermarket bypass valve or an auxiliary cooler. The transmission you save will be your own. Now we get to the big one. If you only remember one section of this video, make it this one. Habit number 6. Deal with active fuel management before it deals with you. Starting in 2007, GM's Gen 4 5.3 shuts down cylinders 1, 4, 6, and 7 to save fuel using special collapsing lifters. When one of those lifters fails, and they fail by the thousands, it can wipe the camshaft lobe and put metal through the engine. You usually get a warning first, a misfire code on one of those 4 deactivation cylinders, a tick that sounds like a sewing machine under the hood, maybe a check engine light that comes and goes. Owners who keep driving on that tick are the ones who end up on a flatbed. The repair means pulling the heads, so it runs $2,500 to $4,500 on older trucks, even when the cam survives. And on the newer ones with dynamic fuel management, which juggles 17 different cylinder patterns with a deactivation lifter on every single cylinder, I've written estimates north of $6,000. This is the one problem on these trucks that genuinely scares me. So what do? A plug-in disabler, around $200 from Range and others, keeps the truck in V8 mode so those lifters stop cycling thousands of times per drive. The purists will tell you it doesn't change the hardware, and they're right, the weak parts are still in there. But in my shop, the trucks that come in with wiped cams are almost never the ones that ran a disabler and 5,000-mile oil changes from new. And if you ever have the engine apart anyway, that's the moment to install a full delete kit with standard lifters and be done with the whole system forever. Your engine isn't the only thing with a factory flaw though. The 8-speed guys already know where I'm headed. Habit number 7. If your 8-speed shudders, Change the fluid before you pay for a torque converter. From 2015 to 2019, the 8L90 and 8L45 transmissions shipped with a fluid that turned out to absorb moisture, and the result was a shudder on light throttle that feels exactly like driving over rumble strips. The moisture changes how the fluid grips inside the torque converter clutch, and that clutch is constantly slipping a little by design, so the whole truck vibrates. Dealers replaced converters by the truckload at $2,500 to $3,500 a shot before GM put out a bulletin, TSB 18-NA-355, that says flush the old fluid and refill with Mobil 1 synthetic LVA-TFHP, the blue label stuff. The bulletin has the tech run fluid through until the new stuff pushes out the old, and getting the exchange close to complete is the whole game, which is why a quick drain and fill often doesn't fix it. Done right, that service costs $300 to $400, and in my experience, it cures the shudder in most trucks that catch it early. There was a class action over this exact issue, so the problem is documented and the fix is sitting on a parts shelf. If you own a 2015 to 2019 8-speed truck and you've never had the fluid swap to the HP spec, do it this month, shudder or no shudder. It's the cheapest transmission repair GM ever invented. If this video is saving you money, hit subscribe, because I put out a Silverado ownership video from this shop every week. Now, let's talk about the way these engines quietly drink oil, because nobody at the dealership is going to bring it up. Habit number 8. Check the dipstick between oil changes. Every other fill-up. No excuses. The Gen 4 5.3S, especially 2010 through 2014, developed a documented appetite for oil. The AFM system's pressure relief valve sprays oil at the piston skirts, the rings load up, and suddenly a healthy-looking truck is burning a quart every 1,500 miles without a drop on the driveway. GM got sued over it, more than once, and the fixes that came out of that era, an updated valve cover with a better PCV baffle and a little deflector shield over the relief valve, help, but don't cure a truck whose rings are already coked. What clears rings on a mild case is heat and load, a long highway trip at working temperature, plus shorter oil intervals so the deposits stop building. The danger is that an owner who never checks the stick runs 2 quarts low, and now the oil pressure at the lifters drops, and we're right back to habit number 6 with a wiped cam. Checking oil takes 30 seconds at a gas pump. My truck has drunk a little for the last 100,000 miles, and I treat it the way you'd treat an old dog. Top it off, write it down, and watch whether the pace changes. A quart of synthetic costs $8. Running low costs an engine. While you're standing at that pump, the next habit is staring you in the face. Habit number 9. Buy decent gas and respect what direct injection changed. The Ecotec 3 engines from 2014 onward squirt fuel straight into the cylinder, which is great for power and mileage, but it means gasoline never washes over the backs of the intake valves anymore. Carbon builds up on those valves like plaque, and an idle-heavy truck can need a walnut shell blasting around 100,000 miles, which runs $400 to $600. You can't fully prevent it, but you can slow it down. Run top-tier fuel, which carries a real detergent standard that most warehouse club and name brand stations meet, and skip the discount station with the faded sign and the tank of mystery. Keep up your oil changes, since the vapors that bake onto those valves come from the crankcase, which is also why some owners run a catch can on these engines. I'm not against a good catch can, I just want it drained on a schedule, because a full can in February is worse than no can at all. And let the truck pull a long highway run regularly, because sustained heat and airflow is the closest thing a stock engine has to a self-clean cycle. Everything so far protects the drivetrain, but I've scrapped mechanically perfect Silverados for what the next habit prevents. Habit number 10. Fight rust like it's a second job, because in a salt state, it is. I'm in Ohio, and I promise you the frame gives up before the 5.3 does. Brake lines on the 1999 to 2013 trucks are notorious for rotting through. That enough that federal safety regulators opened an investigation covering millions of them, and a brake pedal that hits the floor at 60 miles an hour is a much worse day than any lifter tick. Replacing a full set of rusted lines runs $500 to $1,000 at a shop, and that's if the fittings cooperate. So every fall, before the first salt truck rolls, my Silverado gets the underside cleaned and coated with a lanolin spray, fluid film, or wool wax. Frame, lines, cab mounts, everything. That's about $150 if you do it yourself, a few hundred at a shop. Through the winter, I hit the undercarriage wash whenever there's a thaw. 22 Ohio winters, and my truck is on its original frame and original brake lines. I've bought trucks for parts that ran perfectly and crumbled when you jacked them up. Rot is the quiet way a Silverado dies early. The loud way is small problems that were allowed to grow up. Habit number 11. Fix the small stuff the same week you notice it. A truck talks to you long before it strands you. The little coolant smell after a hot shutoff. The click from a dry U-joint on takeoff. The hum from a wheel bearing that only shows up at 55. On my truck, every new noise gets investigated within days because 22 years of tow-ins taught me the math. The U-joint is a $40 part until it lets go and takes the drive shaft and tail housing with it. On the older trucks with grease fittings, I hit every zerk on the front end and driveline at every other oil change, and the ball joints and tie rod ends on this truck have outlived factory-sealed parts on trucks with half its miles. The $8 hose clamp is nothing until it seeps, the truck runs low, and we're back at habit 3 with warped heads. I also keep a paper log in the glove box, every repair, every fluid, every date. Sounds old-fashioned, but that log is why I can tell you my water pump count, which is 4, and it's also why this truck would sell for real money tomorrow if I were foolish enough to let it go. The last habit isn't about the wrench at all, it's about your right foot. Habit number 12. Drive it like you plan to keep it forever. Cold engines get gentle throttle until the gauge says otherwise. I don't lug the engine at low RPM in a tall gear, especially with cylinder deactivation trying to run 4-cylinder mode under load. I don't hot rod away from lights, and I don't park it for a month at a time either, because sitting is its own kind of abuse. Most of my 704,000 miles are steady highway miles, and those are the easiest miles an engine ever turns. If you think 700,000 is the ceiling, look up Frank Oreznik, a delivery driver who ran a 1991 Chevy pickup past 1.2 million miles hauling food around Chicago on its original small block, mostly on the strength of relentless, boring maintenance. That's the secret nobody wants to hear. Boring wins. Consistency beats horsepower, beats badges, and beats every additive on the parts store shelf. So that's the truck sitting outside my window right now. 704,000 miles of oil changes on schedule, fluid that never turned brown, an AFF system that was never allowed to run wild, and a frame the salt never got. If you take nothing else, take the big 3. 5,000-mile oil changes, transmission fluid every 50,000, and a plan for active fuel management before it makes a plan for you. If this saved you a repair bill, subscribe and turn on notifications, because next week I'm covering the 5 worst used Silverado years I'd never buy with my own money, and a couple of them will surprise you. And drop a comment with your year, your engine, and your mileage, because I read every one, and the High Mileage Club in this comment section keeps me doing this. Take care of that truck, and I'll see you in the next one.